Officers on the pursuit call. Suspect vehicle was last seen heading north near the power station. Containment will be set up ahead of his last known direction of travel. This call is still code 6. Handle on TAC 3.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of the day it is for you guys. This video is going to be a little bit different just because I had some corruption with the audio, so I'm going to have to do it like voiceover style. But really, it's just, as you've seen from the title, I'm just kind of fixing my S15 front end, and I'm also rebuilding the headlights and stuff. So the main thing with it is, now that I have a welder, I want to make the S15 front end conversion permanent, well, semi-permanent. Right now it's just kind of loosely bolted in, and that's why my fitment isn't the greatest. But what I'm gonna do is weld up this area that I'm pointing at right now, so that everything can be straight and not wobbly and stuff like that when I hit bumps. Another thing that I'm gonna tackle is these S15 lights. I'm not really feeling the look of them anymore, but you can see I welded up the retainer with a piece of metal just to get it back so that I can have the bumper on and the headlights on and everything can be straight. But yeah, another thing I'm going to be doing is rebuilding these headlights, just to kind of get new lenses on them and refresh the look. So that's another thing that I'll go over. But you can see that I'm kind of pointing towards the retainer and everything like that. Just at this time, I was explaining how the S15 front end kind of works. You have the bumper retainer that keeps the headlights straight, the bumper straight, and it kind of like lines all that stuff up. You have the brackets for the headlights, which are the things that I have going towards the headlight brackets for the S14. Those bolt to the headlight themselves, and those serve as the mounting point for the headlights to mount to the retainer. There's another bolt on the outside of the retainer that bolts the fender, the retainer, and the headlight all together. So you can see these headlights, since the last time I built them, they're not in the best condition. I'm not feeling the pyrite crystals in there anymore, so I changed it to this way cleaner setup. Got some new lenses that are clear, liked it, so decided to go with it. Carbon skin to delete for the turn signal housing, way better than this. Gonna be getting rid of that second LED RGB strip, painting it black again, and getting rid of that pyrite crystal, all just to clean it up pretty much. So that's another side thing I'll be doing. So you pretty much just saw me doing all the welding and stuff like that. I was pretty happy with the fitment of the headlights to the hood to the fender. The bumper wasn't on there yet, and I did end up having to adjust the fitment ever so slightly for me to get the bumper in there too. I think the left headlight was too close, and the bumper couldn't clear it with that little gap for the headlights. One thing that I did want to point out though, with the S15 headlight retainer, some people that have them may be wondering why mine is welded. Well, when I did the S15 front end on my S13, the measurements for the front end were different. I had to cut that middle piece out in order to get it to work. On the S14, you don't need to do that, and since I had cut that piece out years ago, I threw it out, and I was no longer able to, like, you can't get these anymore. The S15 retainer is just non-existent, discontinued part, nobody carries them. The only way you could get it is secondhand, and nobody's really trying to get rid of them from what I know. So fortunately, I still have the two side pieces, and I just cut the piece of steel and made it good, but we're good to go on that fitment wise and stuff. Back to the disassembly of the headlights, and you can kind of see them. This is just the process of building the headlights and stuff. And at some point when I was correcting the fitment on the front end, I noticed that I had knocked out the lens delete that I have for the turn signal, so I had to take that and rebuild it, or take the lens back off, pop that in, and then re-glue it. But this is me making the harness. I know when I was kind of filming this, I was just kind of talking a lot about which things power what, which things ground what, so on and so forth. It's still the same basic layout that I had when I made my building a S15 headlight video. So I would just recommend, if you want to know like the details for how to power certain lights, how to ground certain lights, and so on and so forth, make your own custom harness for the S15 headlights, I'll go back and watch that one, because that one is goes way more in depth, since it's dedicated for wiring up the headlights. But when I made this harness, I just simplified it. You got 2 ground wires, and all the other wires, those colored ones I was showing, they all power the different lights. So connect the ground wires to one solid ground in the front, and then bring all those other colored wires into the body of the car, connect them to a switch panel, and then there you go. Pretty much has it all set up. Did like the new lenses though. Those are definitely worth the money, because they were crystal clear. Way clearer than mines were when I first got them, I can tell you that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just let it play out for a little bit. This is just really just showing the wiring process. But I will say, once I got them on the car, they do look nice. They definitely do look nice sitting there. This is the switch. I've had this switch panel for a long time. I had custom buttons made, I carbon skinned it, so on and so forth. I'm just testing to make sure the buttons still work and everything. I connected the common wires together. More wiring. This is the chassis wiring. Just getting everything routed and sorted before I get like carpet and stuff like that. But the switch panel is located in the center, right underneath those vents and stuff like that. So you can kind of see that when I give power to it, and then it should cut over there in a second. But yeah, once it's all powered up, I did notice that there was a slight I think it's induction issue going on with that switch panel. Like when the vehicle is powered fully, it will show the high beams and low beams the buttons will glow, as you can see, but they're not actually on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a switch in series for the power to the whole panel, and then it'll be one switch turns on the panel, and then you can turn on all the lights and stuff. But I didn't do that in this video, so you can see. But I think right now I have either the low beams or the high beams connected to just test them out. So go ahead and show you what that looks like. And this is just kind of showing me making the harness and putting a sleeve on it and everything. Cable management, you can see the grounds that I made for it. I gotta paint over those, and then the cable runs off to the side, and then just in the same fashion that it would in the factory Nissan, I'm having it go up the driver's side fender into the, what would that be, the cockpit, into the interior. But here's the test. At this point in time, the front end is not bolted in. It's just kind of sitting there. That's why it looks really weird. But you can see all the lights, because I think I was finished wiring them at this time. So I have a on switch that turns them on. It is also connected to the low beams. a simple one switch turns on low beams, parking light, and the daytime running light. As you can see, I didn't really want to separate the two, just because I didn't have another switch just for like parking lights and stuff like that, and I didn't want to make one, so I put them all together on the same function. Then you can see the sequentials doing their thing. For the turn signals, there's one button for each turn signal each side. Nice little animation, haven't seen it in a while since I last made these headlights, so still looks pretty cool to me. Let's see the other side. The only downside is, technically speaking, I don't have a hazard button to activate both and keep them at the same animation per se. But that's just a matter of timing. If I press both buttons at the same time, they'll be in sync. Just for a fun fact, these are LED daytime running lights, and you do have to put a resistor in there so that those turn signals can function properly. Those are the high beams. They are pretty bright. The high beams are LED. The low beams are still the factory bulb. I gotta find a proper replacement for the low beams, but the S15s, they just have weird bulb sizes. What it looks like with the dark. Oh snap. Quick release setup is here and installed. I'm not going to do a video on the quick release setup because there's a million videos on how to put a quick release on. What it looks like, excludes the camera quality. My camera doesn't do good in dark. But headlights on. Got left turn signal doing this thing. Right turn signal doing this thing. Turn them off and daytime running lights come back. And we got brights. So it looks like we are good to go. And that's that. Go ahead and get everything taken off. If I could do this with one hand. There we go. Good. But I'm gonna conclude it there. I don't want to wait too long for the video to be made at night and stuff like that. It's not like it's gonna go on a test drive. This is the wiring. All the white wiring is headlight wires. All the blue and red wiring is for the car to actually work. And when I do the wiring for the custom lights, because I still have demon eyes, the halo, and I think that's it. I took the other strip out, so I got the halo and the demon eyes and the high beams and low beams that I have to wire up. I'll make that harness a different color as well. But this video isn't about the actual wiring and stuff. If you want to see my video on how to wire them up and everything like that, I made one. It's on the channel. Just look up the build on the S15 headlights. That's also why I didn't go into detail with them. So I just say like, comment, subscribe, follow the build, and till next time.